Good morning, children. So, let us start the second part of the first lesson, the best Christmas present in the world. But before start, I just want to recall what was I have taught you in my previous sin. Okay, previous part in the first part. In the first part, we came to know how the narrator Michael Morpurgo has got a letter from this rolled up desk and from that letter he was got from that roll of days. And what was the letter? The letter was about an English soldier, okay, whose name was Jim Macpherson, and he was the leader of his English troop. So before getting into war, he was a school teacher in Dorset, which was present in the west part of England. And his personality, just like he was very brave and courageous as he was leading his troop. He was very kind and open-hearted person. As he shared his time and happiness with the enemy army also, a loving and caring person due to his love and affections towards his wife, which we are going to shown in this letter. So what happened? He was the Jim Affection was the person who had written a letter to his beloved wife, whose name was Connie, and this letter was got by our narrator, who had got this from this drawer. Okay, so who was this Connie Macpherson? The Connie Macpherson was the wife of Jim Macpherson. After her husband went to the war, she spent her whole life in a belief that she will see him again. But a fire broken in her house and he burnt her partially. And what is his personality? What is her personality? We found that a woman with extreme love for her husband. Okay, so here these are all about. You can see in this letter what was written by Jim Marfaction. And another one character also we are going to see in this letter, that was the person whose name was Hans Ulf, who was a German captain. I told you in the beginning that this story was based on a battle between the British army and German army. And what was happening in that battle, we are going to discuss. So Hans Ulf was the captain of German troop. He worked in an orchestra in Dusseldorf before the war, and he was very friendly as he first insisted make friendship with English. He also had love for football, and he had an adventurous mind. So let us start with the summary of the second part. What was the summary? The summary is, it was a Christmas wonderful morning. Okay, and these things in this letter, what was written by Jim Macpherson, what he was written, it is written that the description of the Christmas morning. What was the description? What was happened with him? So he was writing each and everything to his wife. How he has written? He has written like this. It was a Christmas morning. A wonderful thing was happened to him. First, the German wishes Happy Christmas to the English soldiers, and same response was given by the English also. And the leaders shared their ideas. So how they have given? He wanted to express each and everything through this letter to his wife. How these British soldiers and German soldiers have started the friendship in this battlefield. The leaders shared their ideas, their feelings with each other and celebrated Christmas. How they celebrated Christmas? By eating, by laughing, by talking and by drinking. And after that they decided to start a game, to play a football match in which German won. And in the night, both the troops sang carols together and they had a very peaceful Christmas on that day. And that day has never happened to Macpherson before. Okay, so these things he wanted to share with his beloved wife. So what was there? Let us read the story. Okay. So how Macpherson had written to his wife. His wife's name I told you, Connie. So he has written in the salutation, as you know, in the letter we started with the salutation, dearest Connie. I write to you in a much happier frame of mind because something wonderful has just happened that I must tell you about at once. We were all standing in our trenches yesterday morning. That was Christmas morning. It was crisp and quiet all about. As beautiful a morning as I have ever seen. As cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. So I have already told you in the summary that he wanted to describe about the Christmas morning, which has happened, which has never happened before. So as it is already as usual, it was a cold and frosty morning, and what has happened? Let us see. I should like to be able to tell you that we began it, but the truth I am ashamed to say is that Fridge began it. First, someone saw a white flag waving from the trenches opposite. Then they were calling out to us from across no man's land. Happy Christmas, Tommy! Happy Christmas! When we had got over the surprise, some of us shouted back, Same to you, Fridge! Same to you! I thought that it would be that. We all did, but then suddenly one of them was up there in his grey greatcoat and waving a white flag. Don't shoot, lads! Someone shouted, and no one did. Then there was another freeze up on the parapet and another. Keep your heads down, I told the man. It's a trick, but it wasn't. So what happened there? So here the soldier, the British soldiers, the British captain whose name was Jim Matheson, he wanted to say that actually when the siege was started, you know very well that the German army wished them first, but the Jim Matheson thought that it was his troop who started the wishing first, but no, he was wrong. Actually, the wishes had first given by the British army, who was called Fritz. Fritz means the name for a German soldiers or a common German name, and Tommy means a common English name. The English soldiers are called Tommy, and the German soldiers are called Fritz. And what is the meaning of trenches here? Trenches means a long, deep ditches in the ground where soldiers hide from the enemy. Have you seen the picture border? Have you seen? So in this picture you can able to see the trenches. How it is generally using at the time of battle. So I know it is a story about battle. So here Jim Macpherson thought that the wishes was given by their side, but no, it was wrong. Actually, the wishes are given by the British, by the German army, and but still that time he thought it was just a trick, but actually it was not a trick. Then what happened? One of the Germans was waving a bottle above his head. It was a Christmas day, Tommy. We have snaps. We have sausage. We meet you. Yes. By this time, there were dozens of them walking towards us across no man's land, and not a rifle between them. Little Private Morris was the first up. Come on, boys. What are we waiting for? And then there was no stopping them. I was the officer. I should have stopped them there and then. I suppose, but the truth is that it never even occurred to me I should. All along their line and ours, I could see men walking slowly towards one another. Grey coats, khaki coats, meeting in the middle, and I was one of them. I was part of this. In the middle of the war, we were making peace. So what happened? What he wanted to describe? The one of the German was waving a bottle. So the Jim Macpherson wanted to describe, wanted to say to his wife, on that day, one of the German was coming with waving a bottle above his head. Okay, and he started saying, "Oh, come on! It was a Christmas day. We should have party." Okay, then what are you waiting for? Why you are waiting for? You just come on, because they were coming from the no man's land. That means no man's land is a land where nobody can able to come except the battle time. Okay, but they were coming, and they were coming, dozens and dozens of soldiers were coming from the German side, and they also started asking to the British soldiers to join them because it was a Christmas day. And after some time, the Macpherson said, I know he knew that he was an officer, but he cannot able to stop them because he thought it was the time in the middle of the war they tried to making the peace. You cannot imagine, dearest Connie, my feelings as I looked into the eyes of the freeze officer who approached me, hand outstretched, Hansel. He said, gripping my hand warmly and holding it, I am from Dusseldorf. I play the cello in the orchestra. Happy Christmas. You cannot imagine, dearest Connie. Connie, you can't imagine what happened after that. My feeling as I just want to share my feelings what happened. I looked into the eyes of the freeze officer. Freeze officer means the German officer whose name was Hansel. I told you in the beginning, Hansel was a German officer, and he came to Macpherson, and he started warming Macpherson by holding his hand, by shaking his hand, and said Happy Christmas. He also introduced himself by saying that he was from Dusseldorf, and before joining this battle, before joining this army, he was a cello player who was playing the orchestra. Okay, he was a cello player he was played the cello in the orchestra, and he wished Jim Afrocha Happy Christmas. Then what happened? Do you think Jim Afrocha also answered him? Do you think Jim Afrocha also wished him? Let us see what happened. Captain Jim Afrocha, I replied, and a happy Christmas to you too. I'm a school teacher from Dorset in the west part of England. Then yes, Jim Afrocha also wished him back by saying Happy Christmas to you too. Oh, Dorset, he smiled. I know this place. I know it very well. We shared my rum ration and his excellent sausage, and we talked. Connie, how we talked! He spoke almost perfect English, but it turned out that he had never set foot in Dorset. Never ever been to England. He had learned all he knew of England from school and from reading books in English. His favorite writer was Thomas Hardy. His favorite book, Far from the Madding Crowd. So out there in no man's land, we talked of Bassev and Gabriel Locke and Sergeant Troy and Dorset. He had a wife and one son, born just 6 months ago. As I looked about me, there were huddles of khaki and grey everywhere, all over no man's land, smoking, laughing, talking, drinking, eating. Hans Wolf and I shared what was left of your wonderful Christmas cake. Connie, he thought the marzipan was the best he had ever tasted. I agreed. We agreed about everything, and he was my enemy. There never was a Christmas party like it, Connie. Then how he was described about the what was happened with what was the conversation between him and Hansel. He said when Hansel listened when Hansel came to know that I belong to Dorset, he was having a smiling face. You know why? Because he told me that he used to be very close to that place, Dorset. But he had never been to England. So he knew all these things from his story because he was a very his favorite writer is Thomas Hardy and his favorite book is Far from Madding Crowd. And from that story, he came to know about the about Dorset. So you just can imagine he is also saying very pure English, very perfect English. He had a wife and one son who just born before 6 months. And after discussion, we are observing that all the khakis and the grey coat everywhere they're mingling with each other. They are smoking, they are laughing, they are talking, they are sharing their ideas, they are drinking, they are eating together. And we thought, really, though we know that we were enemy, but there never was a Christmas party like it before. We both are really enjoying this. We both are really enjoying this the Christmas day because it was never happened neither to me nor to Hansel. And Hansel, he liked the most your Christmas cake and marzipan he told was the best he had ever tasted. So these things happened with me and Hansel, and really it was ever memorable for my life. Let us see what happened in the next. Next, then someone so then what happened? Then someone I don't know who brought out a football. Great coats were dumped in piles to make goalposts. And then the next thing we knew it was stormy against Fridge out in the middle of no man's land. Hansel and I looked on and cheered, clapping our hands and stamping our feet to keep out the cold as much as anything. There was a moment when I noticed our bliss mingling in the air between us. He saw it too and smiled. Jim Macpherson, he said after a while, I think this is how we should reserve this for a football match. No one dies in football match. No children and orphans. No wives become widows. You can see all these lines. You can see all these lines. Please underline all these lines. No one dies in a football match. No children as orphans. No wives become widows. In the first, when I began this chapter, I told you No one in the world liked war. Okay, same thing happened to Jim McPherson and Hansel when they saw after some time after they enjoyed some of the British soldiers they were planning to start a football match. Okay, and this Tommy between this Tommy and the freezer between the British player and the German player in the middle of the no man's land. And Hansel and Jim McPherson, they both looked on and they started cheering their team. They started clapping their hands back and stamping their foot and cheering their teams. And the moment they noticed that both these teams, as if their breeze also mingling in the air. And in that at that moment, Hansel was a little bit emotional and he started saying, he started that it is the only way that was the only way that they can resolve the war by playing a football match, because by playing a football match no man dies in a football match, no children are orphan, no wife become widows. This may be coming to your in your reference to the context. Okay, so now please underline this paragraph. I think till no wives become widows, please bracket this, because might be it will be coming to reference to the context. You have to write Hansel has shared these lines with Jim McPherson while he thought that only by a football match we can able to resolve the war in which no one died and no children are orphaned and no wives became widow. So these things may be coming in your reference to contest. Now, what are the answers? Then Jim McPherson, I had preferred cricket. I told him. Then we Tommies could be sure of winning. Probably we laughed at that, and together we watched the game. Sad to say. Then what happened? Then Jim McPherson said, he preferred generally cricket because he thought football was not so much of acquainted with football. Rather, they were very acquainted with cricket, and might be they will be winning the match. So very sad to say what happened in that match. Connie, you know what happened? Free zone, 2 goals to 1. Free zone, that means the German soldiers won the match. 2-1. We are having 1 point and they are having 2 points. But as Hansel generously said, our goal was wider than theirs, so it was not quite fair. And you know, Hansel was a very sporty person. What he said? He said, no, our goal was a little bit wider than theirs, so it was not quite fair. The time came, and all too soon when the game was finished, and after some time, the game was over. The snaps and the rum and the sausage had long since run out, and we knew it was all over. Everybody knew that everything was over. I wished Hans well and told him I hoped we would see his family again soon, that the fighting would end and we could all go home. We both wished to each other that we hope that we will be very soon we will meet our family. I also wish the same to Hansel, and we both came back to our places. Then what happened? I think that is what every soldier wants. On both sides, Hansel said, take care, Jim McPherson. I shall never forget this moment, nor you. He saluted and walked away from me slowly, unwillingly. I felt, क्या बोल रहे हैं कि जिम मैकफर्सन यहाँ पे बोलता है I think that is what every soldier wants. So here he wanted to share with his wife. Every soldier wants no war should be there. Here Hansel said, take care, Jim McPherson. Hansel said, wished him, take care, Jim McPherson. I shall never forget this moment, nor you. Neither he forgot this moment, nor Jim McPherson. He saluted him and walked away very slowly without unwillingly. That means he has no will to go back from Jim McPherson, because at that moment they both are very good friends. I felt he turned to wave just once and then become one of the hundreds of grey-coated men drifting back towards their trenches. After some time, all these grey-coated men, all the British soldiers drifting back, again going back towards their trenches. That night, back in our dugouts, we heard them singing a carol. Then when we reached at our dugout, that means a shelter, where we are having shelter, where our soldiers digging a hole in the ground and we are taking shelter over there. That is called dugout. We heard them singing a carol. We heard the carol voice singing it quite beautifully. The beautiful voice was coming from the other side. It was still a natural silent night. Our boys gave them a rousing chorus of wild shepherds was. So one line they had started, another line was ended with the British soldiers. We exchanged carols for a while and then we all fell silent. Sometimes we started exchanging one line they used to sing, another line we used to sing. So like this, we exchanged our carols for a while and then after some time we all fell silent. We had our time of peace and got good feed. A time I will treasure as long as live. And this was really a treasure in my life. I will never forget. This was one of the best present in my life. This was one of the best treasure in my life. So I wanted to share with you so that if I write everything in a letter, it will be a treasure for me. It will be my goodwill. So I had our time, this time of peace, this time of goodwill, a time I will treasure as long as I live. जितने दिन तक मैं जिंदा रहूंगा, this is the treasure of my life. Dearest Connie, by Christmas time next year, this war will be nothing but a distant and terrible memory. Next year Christmas, by Christmas time next year, ये जो war है, it will be nothing but a distant and a terrible memory. I know from all that happened today how much both armies long for peace. कितने हम लोग शेयर, how much we are thinking about peace, how to spread peace. We don't want what, we don't want war. So these things happen. We shall be together again soon. I am sure of it. And he wrote here, we shall be. That means he definitely he should come back to his wife Connie. And this was the end of the letter. And at last he was saying he was loving Jim. So that was the letter. You can see how this British army and German army, they both talked with each other. They started sharing their ideas. They started singing. They started playing. How they sharing the ideas. So how they spreading the peace in these situations. So it was really a wonderful, it was really a memorable instance for the for Jim Mafferson to wish these things he wanted to keep it as a treasure, and for that he had described all these things, each and everything to his wife through his letter. So in this letter, so this is the second part is over here. So some questions is also there. I am giving you the question as homework so that you can read the questions. I'll discuss these questions with you now only, and after that I will give some glossaries. So let us discuss the questions. First question, who had written the letter to whom and when? Think for a while. Who had written the letter? कौन लिखा था? The letter had written by whom? The letter was written by G. Mafferson to his beloved wife Connie on which day? On December 26, 1940. Why was the letter written? What was the wonderful thing that had happened? क्यों लिखा था उसने लेटर को? He wanted to share all his what? All his memorable instance in this letter, so that he wanted to share all these things what was happened. He wanted to keep these moments as a treasure. He started writing the letter to his wife, and all the wonderful things he wanted to keep. He wanted to keep all these wonderful things happened on that day. He wanted to keep, so that he was written the letter. What jobs did Hansel and G. Mafferson have when they were not soldiers? जब वो soldiers नहीं थे, वो लोग क्या करते थे? I told you in the beginning. Yes, what was Hansel? Hansel was a cello player in an orchestra, and Jim Macpherson was a teacher in Dorset, which was in a part of England. Had Hansel ever been to Dorset? No, he had never been to Dorset. So why did he say he knew it? He knew all these things from his story because he was a great fan of Thomas Hardy, and from his story of Which story was written? The story was Far from the Madding Crowd. From that he came to know about Dorset. He was very familiar to Dorset. Do you think Jim Macpherson came back from the war? We don't think so. So let us discuss all these questions again. So write the meaning and make your own sentences by using the given words. Okay. So these words, if you can go through all this PPT, you can find all the answers from the first PPT as well as from the second PPT. You find all the answers. Okay. What is the meaning of restore? What is the meaning of winner? What is the meaning of scalpels? What is the meaning of trenches? Fridge, marzipan, dugout and snaps. So all these words you have to write the meanings on your notebooks and write your own sentence by using these given words, not the meaning. Is it clear? By using these given words, you have to write the sentence by your own. You have already done it in the class 7th. Okay. So take a notebook, start writing the glossary first. Lesson number 1 and start glossary, the word and meaning and sentence. Okay. So this is the first and second part. It is over now. So this homework should be done. Now discuss the question answers. So first question was, what was the first question? Who had written the letter to whom and when? Who was written the letter? Jim Macpherson, a captain in the British Army, had written the letter on which date? Dated December 26, 1914 to his wife Connie Macpherson. Okay. Then the second question. Why was the letter written? What was the wonderful thing that had happened? Yes, the letter described a wonderful event. What was the wonderful event? The two armies, that the British and the German, fighting against each other, celebrated Christmas together. So the wonderful thing was, though they both were fighting against each other, but still they were celebrated Christmas together. That was the wonderful event which John Macpherson wanted to keep in a letter as well, because he wanted to keep it in a treasure. Okay. Then what was happened? What jobs did Hans Wolff and Jim Macpherson have before they were not soldiers? क्या थे वो दोनों? So before joining the army, Hans played the cello in the orchestra and Jim was a teacher in which place? In Dorset. Okay. Now next question. Had Hans Wolff ever been to Dorset? No, Hans Wolff had never been to Dorset. So why did he say that he knew it very well? Because he had only read about Dorset in Hardy's novel Far from the Madding Crowd. Now last questions. Do you think Jim Macpherson came back from the war? No, Jim Macpherson had never come back from the war, or Jim Macpherson never came back from the war. Perhaps for which? So how do you know this? Because you knew this in the last, in the third part we can come to know how did you knew this, because perhaps therefore his wife Connie had preserved this letter. For that reason Connie had preserved this letter. So we will come to know about this, how Connie had preserved this letter in the next third scene. What has happened when the narrator read the whole story, and after reading the story what he was planning to do, उसका plan क्या चला था, क्या करेगा? Do you think he used to go to Mrs. Macpherson and he used to give them, he used to give to Mrs. Macpherson? Do you think so? So let us see what happened. We will see in the next session. Is that clear? So till that, whatever homework I have given to you, please write down on your notebook. First, start from the glossary, then start writing the question answer. Okay. So till today, this much is enough. So tomorrow, see you in the next session. Okay. Thank you very much.